Hey guys, welcome back to our vegan dining room / office.
All right, we've got not a recipe video for you today. This is something a little bit different.
You've noticed by the title here, we're saying no more tampons, no more pads, no more deodorant. What?
Yeah.
So before we get into it, I just want to say
no more antiperspirant.
Okay, no more antiperspirant. Guys, if you're watching this probably isn't for you, except for the deodorant part.
Yeah.
But the second half, probably not for you. Speaking to the women out there.
Okay.
But anyway, let's get started. Let's talk about antiperspirant.
All right, antiperspirant, bad. I've used antiperspirant for the majority of my life.
Yeah.
People don't want to have pits.
Okay.
They don't want to sweat through their clothes.
But a lot of people don't realize how unhealthy
not sweating is.
And like how unhealthy traditional antiperspirants are.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. I mean, if you put a cork up your butt because you didn't want to go to the bathroom anymore, where would all that stuff go? You're kind of, in essence, doing that under your arms. If you're not sweating, you're not releasing those toxins that are meant to come out from under your arms. Mm-hmm. So that can't be good, right?
Right.
So that's why we've stopped using antiperspirants. We haven't stopped using deodorants because we don't want to stink.
There's a difference between sweating and like smelling like you're sweating.
So we've gone on a little journey. I think it's been about 3 years now since we stopped using antiperspirants, maybe 2.5.
Okay.
We started out with Schmidt's, like a lot of people do. When I started with Schmidt's, they didn't have the stick. They had in a little container, and you scoop some out, you rub it under your arms, and yeah. But now, since they've come out with these sticks, and this works really well for me. However, there are times when it can be quite irritating because of the ingredient baking soda in here.
But you know what's not in here?
Aluminum.
Aluminum. A lot of people don't realize that antiperspirants have aluminum in them, and like that's really not good to be rubbing aluminum on your armpits every day.
Yeah, and this brand is also vegan and cruelty-free as well. It has the leaping bunny on it, and it has the V right on there.
I just want to say too, we're not getting paid to mention any of the products that we're talking about today.
Right.
We're just letting you guys know what we use in real life.
Also, I want to mention this comes in a lot of nice scents. It also comes in a sensitive formula. I believe that has less baking soda in it. So it's a good brand. I like it. If you're sensitive to the baking soda though, it's probably not going to be the greatest for you. Yeah,
the reason I had to stop using this one is because I have very sensitive armpits, and
they were on fire.
They were burning.
Yeah.
They were burning. Granted, I think I probably overshave because I'm like a freak about it.
Did you over deodorize as well?
Yes, it definitely did. Like this
one is hard.
It's like a hard texture too.
You have to let it warm up a little bit under your arms and then glide it on.
Yeah.
But it can be irritating. It is more expensive than traditional deodorant. This one was $4, I believe, at TJ Maxx, but if you go online, it could be up to like $9, $10 for a stick. So there's other brands too that are very, very similar to this with the whole baking soda, coconut oil. What else do they use in here? The active ingredients, essential oils. I'm not exactly sure how they do it, but they do it, and it works. Pretty effective. You can also make your own deodorant, homemade, using, I believe it is tapioca. Is it tapioca starch? It might. I'm going to have an upcoming video, probably in the next month or so, doing some homemade deodorants. Oh. So be on the lookout for that. I don't want to give it all away right now, but we had to stop using this one and ones like this one. And we switched over to something called Salt of the Earth.
Well, before we get into that, I just want to say that both of these types, you're getting rid of the sweat smell, but you're still gonna have the wetness. Like once you get into the natural deodorant world, you're gonna have the wetness, but
it's natural.
Yeah.
It's supposed to happen.
Right. So I mean, just take a little, you know, if it's really bothering you, just take a little napkin or something and wipe it away.
Yeah, exactly. So this one is vegan and cruelty-free as well. This one is unscented, but they also come in scents. The way that this one works is that it is a mineral salt, which also contains alum, but it's a different type of alum. It's a naturally occurring mineral.
The dogs are they're making a lot of weird noises right now.
It's very effective. The salt in it is what kills the bacteria, which is what makes the smell in this case. In this one, I guess it's the baking soda that absorbs the smell, but in this one, it is the mineral salt, which is potassium alum. Yes, it's still aluminum, but like I said, it's different. We buy the giant size. This was like $30. This comes from the UK.
But it's gonna last for a long time.
It took a long time to ship it to us too, but we got it on Amazon. And we have a spray bottle also. So like we bought this one first and we liked it so much that we bought the refill. So we just keep refilling this one. So I believe this one was like $11 maybe, but this lasts a very long time. So this is going to last probably for the rest of the year, maybe even longer.
Yeah, because you don't need to put a lot of it on.
Right, just 1 or 2 sprays. I find in the wintertime 1 spray is perfectly fine. If it's going to be really hot, I go for 2.
Yeah.
Or if I don't aim it properly, I go for 2. But it dries very quickly. Like I said, you can get scented or unscented. They have manly scents, they have feminine scents. This one just happens to be unscented because I don't always like my...
I don't need a scent, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't want my deodorant to compete with my perfume if I put on perfume if I'm going out.
Or like lotion or something. Like sometimes there's too many smells.
There's too many smells.
It's too many.
Yeah, so let us know what you guys use down in the comments. Do you sweat? Do you not sweat?
I will say I sweat a lot. I have very active sweat glands. So like occasionally I'll put on another round. Like if I have a dance class or something.
Reapply.
Yeah, you can reapply because this is natural stuff. So it's not like you're reapplying with
I wouldn't bathe in it, but I mean,
no. Just like a quick little refresher.
Sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, you do sweat quite a bit, and you haven't had any problems with this one.
No, it's been very good.
She's very active too. She exercises a lot. We go hiking a lot. I can say that this one has been as effective as this one. I think this one, the salt in there really
sucks up all the nastiness.
Yeah, really kills all the bacteria so that, because that's what makes the smell.
Yeah, that one, I feel like in the past, I had like a weird smell, and like sometimes I would notice too, like after putting sweaters through the wash, it still had like a weird smell on the sweater.
Right. Not ever with this one though. This one's
that one
been good.
It's not gonna leave any marks on your clothes. It's not gonna make your clothes smell weird because there's no smell.
And this one's unisex too. It can be for men or women because this one is unscented, and this one doesn't leave any white marks on your clothes. So that's nice.
Yeah.
And moving on.
So now I want to talk about menstruation. Yay! Okay, so about a year ago, maybe a little bit more than a year ago, my sister was like, would you ever consider using a menstrual cup? And I was like, what? I can't do that. I'm not doing that. Because like it's scary at first when you think about it. You're like, what is this? Because like it's not really like a huge thing, and it's crazy to me now after using it for over a year that it's not, because it's pretty much life-changing.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I tried one like 3 years ago and it didn't work for me. So we'll give both sides of the
It's different for everyone. It's different for everyone. But anyway, I decided I was going to give it a try because there are a lot of potential benefits there, which we'll get into, and
there are some negatives though too.
I'm going to get there. I was pleasantly surprised. So I personally use the Diva Cup I think it was about...
I also had the Diva Cup.
Okay, I think it was about $25 on Amazon. Sometimes, it depends where you go. They could be a little bit more expensive.
Look for a coupon. Sometimes they have coupons.
Yeah.
Especially at Target. They'll have a coupon right on the package. Save like $10.
I think now that people are realizing, whoa, everything that we do impacts the environment in some way.
Yeah.
Menstrual cups are becoming a lot more mainstream. There's a lot more companies out there. Let me know if you guys have tried any of the other brands, but the Diva Cup has 2 different sizes. One is for if you are under 30 and have not had a kid, and the other one is a little bit bigger, and it's for if you're over 30 or have had a child. Right.
So it basically, how it works is
it collects.
It goes over your cervix internally.
Yeah.
And it kind of has like a suction-y thing going on there, and much like a diaphragm would work for birth control, it
like creates a seal,
right?
Or it's supposed to.
So all of the lining contents of your uterus go in the cup, and when you're ready to rinse it out, there's a little handle on it, a little spigot.
I wouldn't call it a spigot. It's just like a little tail thing that you pull.
So right, you remove it, you clean it out, and if you still want to use it or you still need to use it, you just reinsert it and you're good to go. So it's very convenient.
Well, the great thing is that you only have to, or you're only really supposed to dump it and clean it every like 12 hours or so. So you can leave that sucker in all day. You change it in the morning, change it at night, and you're set to go. So
yeah,
this is kind of like, ugh, but you can go to the bathroom with it in. Like,
yeah.
I remember being so annoyed because I'm a frequent peer. So every time I would go to the bathroom, I would have to change my tampon. I was like, this is really freaking annoying. But this is so much better. You can just go with it in.
Yeah.
And I'm talking 1 and 2. Just saying.
Yeah, because there's nothing to... Sorry, that was my chair. There is nothing to prevent you from doing that because it's all internal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to talk about some of the other benefits too. So... if you use a menstrual cup, you will save a lot of money because you just buy one.
Tampons are expensive.
Yeah, and this cup could potentially last you up to like 10 years. So that saves a lot of money.
Unless you have a baby.
Well, I mean,
then you have to get a new one.
Even if you were switching it like every other year or whatever, you're still gonna save a ton of money.
It pretty much pays for itself
after a few months.
After a few months, yeah.
Yeah, it's way
after
better
a couple months.
For the environment. Think about how many pads or tampons or even panty liners that you use in one cycle.
Yes.
And then multiply that by 12, and then multiply that by like decades.
Plus,
that's a lot.
Tampons are full of chemicals.
Yeah.
So think about putting chemicals inside of your body. It's not healthy.
Yeah, these cups are like a silicone material. It's very soft. I honestly forget that it's there sometimes because it's not like when you put in a tampon and it's like, oh my god. Especially if you're having a really light day. And you could just feel it like...
Yeah. Dry.
Oh, that like scratchy. Oh, yeah. It's awful.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have that with a menstrual cup. I'm just looking at, I took notes because I want to tell you guys everything about this.
Right. Also, it's much less waste because a lot of tampons come with plastic applicators.
Yeah, the packaging, the applicators, there's a lot. And the production of tampons and other products, it's a huge impact on the environment.
Right.
Also, with tampons, you got to worry about toxic shock syndrome.
Right.
I think there is still like a very, very small chance that you could get it with a period cup, but it's like way lower.
Less.
Way lower. Now a lot of people are like, okay, is it gonna work though? Is it gonna leak? So I've seen in the past, like, because I watched a few videos about it before I tried it, and like some people have had leaks before. Okay, you have. I have had the occasional leak, but it hasn't been anything too drastic.
Nothing tragic.
Nothing tragic, and you can feel when it's leaking, so you could tell like, oh, I should probably go like check that out and
check
fix
it out.
Yeah, usually.
Excuse me, I need to check my Diva cup.
Usually the leaks happen if it's not completely sealed off.
Right, inserted incorrectly.
Right, and you can tell pretty easily if it's sealed, because if you kind of like push up there a little bit, you'll feel if it's fully open or not.
Right.
And then the other time is like if you just took it out and put it back in, so maybe there's some like
residual
blood.
Right.
Below that point, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's like when it happens, but it's not a big deal. I mean, you could leak with like a tampon too.
Right.
Yeah, so whatever. But anyway,
well, I made the mistake of trying it out because they didn't have these before for me. Right when I was starting to go through menopause and having crazy periods, and it just could not contain the Aunt Flo who was staying with me. She had to leave.
All right. Well, I started mine towards the end of a period. So I was like, oh, wow, it's no big deal. Like when I took it out, I was like, oh, there's like not that much in there. But then the next time around, I'm telling you,
shocked?
It's a little bit of a shock at first.
But you know what?
When you see all of the blood, because
you should get used to your body.
No, I know. Yeah. I'm just saying it's a little bit of a shock. So if you're somebody who's like really queasy,
squeamish, yeah,
with blood, maybe not for you. But another thing, I didn't realize like how thick. Like this might be a little bit too TMI, but whatever. It's really thick. It's not like it's just like drops of blood. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was a little bit shocking.
Clots. Too.
Yeah, but you get used to it. It's the lining of the inside of your body.
The only thing is, it can be quite inconvenient. Like if you're, let's say you're out somewhere.
Well, I was gonna get into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have on my list. Wouldn't want to set it up or clean it in a public bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, what do? Walk out of the stall with your cup and like.
That's the thing, because every time you dump it, you definitely want to wash it with soap.
Sure.
Before you reinsert. So
right, because you don't want any bacteria.
That is something to think about. Yeah. So I have gone a few times over 12 hours, and it's totally fine. You just don't want to leave it in for like forever.
Depends on your flow too.
Yeah. So because one cup is supposed to be big enough to contain like a full period's worth. Okay.
No, mine was. Because of when you go, and you older ladies know this, when you start menopause, your periods go nuts. It's like a tree that's dying and it's trying to throw down as many seeds as possible. It's not pretty. And once you get past that though, everything's great. Let me tell you, on the other side, everything's fantastic. You'll love it.
Don't be scared. It's okay.
Yeah. But menopause, probably not the time to use a Diva cup, but definitely when you're everything's a-okay, great.
Okay. Well, going along with the whole like you wouldn't want to change it in a public bathroom, the great thing is if you know that your period is probably coming, you could just
leave it in. Just put it in early.
Put it in that morning, and then you're set for the day. I've done that so many times, and in the past I've wanted to do something like that, but you can't really do that with tampons because you're going to be super uncomfortable and it's not really good for you. No. So that is definitely a plus with Diva
easier
cup.
To be proactive.
Yeah. And another thing, this is a big one. You should probably make sure that you pee as hard as you can pee when that thing is out, because this isn't a problem for everyone, but I have noticed that when I am using a menstrual cup, it like presses against my urethra, so it almost like blocks it off in a way.
Oh, I see.
So
yeah,
if you don't pee while it's out, you're not going to be getting
fully
all of your urine out,
all of your pee.
So you are at risk to get like a urinary tract infection.
I see.
So you got to be careful about that. But it's really, if you set up like a system, you're gonna be fine. But I just wanted to give you guys some info about my experience. If you're both sides of it, if you're interested in trying it out, because for me, I really feel like it has been life-changing.
I think it can be. I think it needs, you need to look at what stage of life you're in as well.
Yeah, so. And just one other thing, you can be active with it, you can go swimming, you can do all of your athletic activities, whatever. You can just sleep in it, whatever.
You can't have sex with it in though.
Okay.
Just FYI, because it's not gonna work.
There's not enough room in there for everything to happen. So, alright, so those are our thoughts on those topics. So, let us know what you guys think in the comments. And until next time,
much love.